Taking a look at some of the stats from tonight, comparing the two teams. Look at this. Kings shooting almost 49% from the field. You talked about the rebounding numbers, Deuce, 47 to 36. And then the assists for the Sacramento Kings. You know, they started going down.
Yeah, they didn't have a lot of assists in that second half, you know. There's a little more ISO ball and definitely a Wolves defense that was much more difficult to go up against.
Well, Keon Ellis talked after this game. Let's hear from him.
Keon, you guys have obviously been through a lot in the last couple of days and really for a few weeks now. How's it feel just to kind of hang together and pull out this win tonight?
It feels good. Definitely always good to get a win. But especially on the road trip, long road trip, last game, everybody can easily just pack it in and try to get to the crib. But good win, way to go out there, fight, play together, and stay with it. Calls weren't going our way, so just way to fight.
What did that take? I mean, what did you guys have to do to pull this one out?
Just get back to the basics. I mean, just go out there, play hard, fight for one another, and just play as a team. Make the easy plays, and just try to hit singles and win the game play by play. So I think that was it.
I guess what was just kind of the reaction in the locker room when you guys found out about De'Aaron, and then also Zach too? What do you know about him? What are you excited to see from him?
Well, when the news came out, I think everybody was doing their own thing. But I mean, this morning we kind of came in and as a team we just said, it's basketball. That's the business of it, the business side. So, but they're not going to come out and feel sorry for us or anything. They just lost their last game. They don't really care what we have going on. So they're trying to come out and win. And we're trying to keep it going forward too. So, I mean, tough to lose someone like that. And what he's done for our team, but kind of like the NBA, it's just on to the next. And I mean, as far as Zach, great player. I think he'll be a great addition to our team. So, definitely excited to have him on our team and, just try to get him acclimated.
I love that. Everyone's that's the business. You touch on what was here, what's difficult, what's emotional, but then you also look ahead. And hey, winning also really helps healing everything.
Just ready to get back home and play a game in front of the crowd. Get Zach LaVine in the lineup. Let's go. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah, it will be an exciting time, obviously, going forward. But, again, coming off of a big win, Keon Ellis having to step up, too, in that starting lineup. There's a few other guys that were stepping up. Trey Lyles was definitely one of them.
He was fantastic, definitely in this game. We'll talk about Trey Lyles, but I think we needed to hit on Anthony Edwards. Breaking news. I'm sorry. I don't mean to shift gears here, but I thought we were taking a look at Ant's game.
Anthony Edwards. Thank you, Deuce. Anthony Edwards he scored 21 points in this one. Anytime he has the ball in his hands, he is such a big threat. Now, you look at his shooting numbers, though, 7 of 21. Not the most efficient game for him.
No, they made life more challenging for him. I thought he settled, and that's been a problem for him sometimes. He gets a little three-point happy, and he's a really talented player. But I thought the Kings' effort on him was really nice. It didn't feel like he could get into any rhythm. They had good contests.
Yeah.
I thought they did a nice job on him. And it was like, oh, will anyone else beat us? And early it looked like maybe Naz Reid was going for 75 points in this game. He hit some tough shots, but I thought overall they did a nice job on Ant.
I love the activity, the on-ball activity. But then it felt like they switched some things up, too, when they were either throwing Domas and the blitz at him and even when they were in the drop coverage. It just felt like they were so locked in, they knew how they wanted to still be active and on everybody. Going back to what I was talking about before, Trey Lyles, everything he was doing tonight, I was so excited to talk about him because you and I all game long, we were like, wow, everything he was adding off the bench. But I know we do have a breakdown.
Yeah, we need to take a look at what Trey Lyles did because remember that game against Boston? Oh, he was a dog out there. He was everywhere. They needed that version of Trey Lyles, and they got that one tonight. He was rebounding well. His defense, look at him getting on the action with the block, and then the Kings are going the other way. And then you just see him in situations where he's got to be in help.
Yes.
Look at the verticality. Again, nothing easy for Anthony Edwards in attack mode. That's when Anthony Edwards is tough. Again, look at him. That weak side help coming over and getting big, using that verticality. Kings may not be full of shot blockers out there, but you could still be big. Trey Lyles is not a small man. He came in tonight, 5 points, but it was the 8 rebounds. It was the 3 assists, 2 blocks, 2 steals.
Yes.
Love what I saw defensively from Trey Lyles. That's what they needed from the bench. Give them something. Last game, did not get a lot from the bench.
Did not get a lot at all, except in garbage time. But even going back to some of those plays where Trey Lyles was coming over to help, I love the way that he ended up remaining vertical. Because there was maybe one time, I think Naz Reid was coming down, not even coming full downhill. It was just in a half-court set.
It was from the corner.
It was from the corner. He was coming down. And you see Trey try and just take a charge. And it was, no, I understand you want to sacrifice your body, but doing the right thing would have been trying to contest that instead. And you saw him do that so much more tonight, just locked in a different way, understanding what this team needed from him defensively. And he was in some interesting lineups, too.
Oh, yeah. They definitely threw him in some different looks tonight. And I think that's what you had to do. You know, you saw him. They went really big, where they had Lyles, Isaac Jones, and Sabonis in there in a stretch. So, look, when you're a little short-handed, right, they don't have the guys they got back in the trade yet, Levine and Sissoko. Different guys have got to step it up, and I thought they did tonight. I thought they got some good minutes from Trey Lyles and then the starters. They had to carry the load. You knew that was going to be the case tonight, seeing Keon come up with some big defensive stops late, knock down some threes. We mentioned Malik being awesome. Keegan with a fantastic first quarter in this game. So it took everybody tonight, and I love their approach. It was so much better than a game against OKC.
Just so much fun. So together. And Doug Christie talked after this one. Let's get reaction right now from him.
Just an incredible fight by a group of men that refused to let them circumstances dictate their reality. And so super proud. Jay, does that answer your question, by the way? Okay, thank you. But all in all, a really good team in Minnesota, and to come in here at the end of a road trip with all that has transpired, I'm just super, super proud of how they presented themselves, how they continue to fight, and most of all, how they stayed together, because those are moments that build and show character, and super proud of them.
I guess 2 things. I'll start with DeMar. Fox was such a good closer for you. DeMar's obviously built the same way. How confident and comfortable are you putting the ball in his hands in those situations?
Super, super confident. Sometimes it'll be a post. Sometimes it'll be a side pick and roll. Tonight it was in the middle of the floor, trying to find the proper matchup and the switch. And he just has an innate ability to take his time, get a guy where he wants him, and at the right moment, explode and be able to knock down a shot. And a couple of times they were contesting, and he still passed it to guys, and we made plays. So coming down the stretch, we got guys that are not only capable but willing, because not everybody's willing, and they're willing to put themselves on the line. So big time game from DeMar, and Malik is he's a special one. Domas playing with 5 fouls, Keegan's ability to knock down shots. The bench was, and I told them they were great, because in many times the bench, you can scoring a lot of different things, but their energy, their support, their togetherness helped get us over the hump.
Yeah, and speaking of
Love what he said there about Sabonis, too, because he was in foul trouble, playing with those 5 fouls.
Yeah.
They could not afford to lose him in this game, so that was crucial for the group. And what he said about the bench, you know what? It doesn't always have to be you're scoring 30 points off the bench. That'd be nice, but are you doing the other things? Are you bringing the energy? Are you bringing the effort? You saw that.
And then the first thing that he said, not allowing the circumstances to dictate reality.
You're talking about the officials? My goodness.
He was not talking. He was talking about everything going on right now.
My goodness.
Speaking of everything going on right now, there are some goodbyes, obviously, today posted on social media. De'Aaron Fox, we obviously shared this early on in tonight's pregame show. And, it's tough when you see all this. And we've already talked about the impact of De'Aaron Fox. But then the other guy, Kevin Huerter, we really haven't been able to talk much about him because we've been talking so much about De'Aaron Fox. And I loved what Kevin Huerter had to say and how special he felt that the Beam Team year was. And he said, hey, I wish, I could have even done more in these last couple of years, but success isn't always linear. And, he understands what he wasn't doing these last couple of years, but also the impact that he had on the spirit, the culture in this team getting back to the playoffs.
That 48-win team was special, and he was a big part of it. Hit, over 200 threes that year, over 40% from downtown. No, big-time stuff.
All right, well, when we come back, it's time to look ahead, Deuce. There's another game, but it's back home. The Kings are done with this road trip. Let's talk about what's next for the Kings next.
Right.
Well, he doesn't need $30,000 for his school. And you take a look at this. Per league source, the Kings are expecting Zach LaVine to make his Sacramento debut Wednesday night when the team hosts the Orlando Magic.
Oh, man, they always say the first game after a long road trip so tough, but how about a little injection of a certified bucket? Zach LaVine has been an absolutely lethal shooter this season. 44% from three. No. That's not a misprint. That's not last 5 games. That's 42 games this year, taking over 7 threes a game. He does it at all levels. Doug Christie said all 4. Long three, mid-range, at the rim. That building is going to be electric coming up when they get back.
And I love that last highlight was a turnaround jumper on Keon Ellis. And now they'll be teammates. And that'll be great to see. And you think about they're taking on the Orlando Magic back at home, Golden One Center with Zach LaVine in a Kings jersey. Really hoping that they can get it done in front of the home crowd.
Yeah, Orlando's a weird team right now. They've lost 8 of 9. They've had injuries throughout the year, but Banchero's back. So is Wagner. It's just been clunky for this group, no doubt about it. They're in San Francisco right now taking on the Warriors. So it doesn't matter. Who cares about the opponent? Just lock in. Let's get this momentum going. Let's get the train back on the tracks.
The train back on the track. Well, they feel back on the tracks, especially after tonight's
but we got to
win.
chugga, choo-choo now.
Oh, okay, because you're like,
get on the
chugga,
tracks,
chugga,
fine.
choo-choo.
We got to move the train.
Got it.
Got to keep going.
Choo-choo.
You know what I mean?
Okay, this all makes sense now. Yeah, no, but this was a huge win tonight, and I think this was such a great way to start going in the back in the right direction, especially coming on home. And hey, DeRozan sounds excited about Zach LaVine in that post-game interview.
My guy Danny on Twitter says prisoner of the moment, but that was the most important win of the season.
Be a prisoner of the moment. Be excited for Deuce Mason, for everyone in the back. The Kings get the win 116-114. We'll see you all coming up this week. Oh, that's beautiful.